everyone. It's me, Larry, your camp counselor. And I've got to say, there is never a dull moment here at Camp Heidi Hills. You probably are wondering why all my clothes are hanging out here to dry. Well, they're very wet. Why are they wet, you ask? Well, one of our canoes sprung a leak. But I didn't notice this until I was smack dab in the middle of Lake Heidi Hills.
Okay, just think, process. What's safety?
Don't worry though, I remained totally calm.
Somebody help me! I'm sinking in the lake.
Fortunately, I am an excellent swimmer. I teach one of the electives every summer.
Mom! I need my
One good thing about my canoe accident is that it reminded me of one of my favorite true stories from the book of Acts in the Bible. It's about a man named Paul. Paul was once one of the biggest enemies of Jesus' followers, but God changed his heart so much that he became one of Jesus' best missionaries. A missionary is someone who travels around and tells others about Jesus. He talked about the good news of Jesus every chance he got. He shared with Jews, non-Jews, men and women, poor people, and even powerful people, including the most powerful person in the whole world at the time, the Roman Emperor Caesar. Now, it's not easy to just sit down and have a chat with an emperor. For starters, Paul didn't even live in Rome, the city where Caesar lived. So God made an unusual way for Paul to go to Rome. First, Paul was arrested for causing trouble. Told you it was unusual. He wasn't really a troublemaker, but the Romans didn't like that he talked about Jesus so much. Anyway, it was all part of God's plan. When it was time for Paul to be released from jail, he asked for Caesar to be his judge. He knew that if he took him all the way to Rome, he'd have a chance to speak to Caesar about Jesus face to face. Sure enough, they put Paul on a big ship along with some Roman soldiers, so he wouldn't try to escape, of course. Paul warned the soldiers and the sailors on the ship that there was bad weather ahead, but they didn't listen to him. They set sail, and sure enough, there was a big storm. Now, you should know that back in Bible times, traveling by ship was really dangerous, especially in bad weather. This storm got so bad that all they could hope for was to get off the boat without drowning. That's when Paul stood up and told them to have courage. He told them about how an angel had appeared to him and told him not to be afraid because God would let them all live. Paul knew that God was going to protect everyone so that he could finish his very important mission. After that, the sailors tried to steer the ship to land, but the ship got stuck in the sand and it started breaking into pieces. The Roman soldiers were scared that all the prisoners, including Paul, would try to escape, so they wanted to kill all the prisoners. But the soldier in charge didn't want to kill Paul, so he stopped the other soldiers from killing anyone. Everyone jumped out of the boat and made it to land, just like I did when my canoe sprung the leak. They were all safe, just like Paul said they would be, because Paul had a special mission from God. Finally, Paul made it to Rome, and he got to talk to Caesar in person. Paul was very courageous, that means brave, because he knew that God was with him. God never promised Paul or us that life will be easy and safe. Paul's trip was super dangerous, remember? But we can be courageous like Paul was if we have the Holy Spirit like he did. The Holy Spirit is the presence of God inside of us. That means even when things are very scary, God is with us, and the Holy Spirit gives us courage. I have to admit, I was a little scared when my canoe started to sink. Then I remembered I wasn't alone. I also remembered that I was an excellent swimmer, and that the lake's only 4 feet deep. Bye everyone. Looks like my clothes are finally dry. Whew.